What's going on, everybody? Hey, listen, you might have seen this list floating around. This right here is a list of those entrants for the 2025 Royal Rumble for WWE. And take this with a grain of salt, as you'll see. And this is, I don't know if this is the person that actually posted it on X, but I'll move myself out of the way so you can see. This person, Steve Carrier, said fake WWE Royal Rumble rundowns are already starting to hit the internet. Don't fall for these. WWE does not plan these out this far ever. Well, also, that may be during the Vince McMahon era. The Royal Rumble is only about 4 or 5 weeks away. So it's not implausible that they already have the lineup going here. In fact, I would say that this is close to a final draft. If they didn't know who was going to be in the Rumble at the very least, they can mess with the order. But I think this is pretty close to the final names that are going to be in the Rumble. So I would say that what he's saying here is wrong. How does he know, first of all, that this is not how WWE does it? And also, to think about it from an organizational perspective, if you don't have things this far out, at least in a somewhat final draft form, then you're just not doing your job. Now, looking at these names, it seems to be very plausible. All right, so spoiler alert, if you haven't already noticed here, the 1 and 2 entrants make total sense here. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. Randy Orton, I think this could be his return date for what Kevin Owens did to him, pile driving him on SmackDown a number of weeks ago. This could be, and it makes perfect sense that these two would continue their program here at the Royal Rumble, where Randy Orton gets a little bit of revenge before we have a third contestant here come in, which is Sami Zayn. And what does Sami Zayn do? Where does he fall? Maybe he's turning heel with Kevin. That's also possible. And Randy Orton is a 2-on-1, and then Andrade comes in. AJ Styles makes his return. Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, they have their ongoing kind of on-again, off-again program. Trick Williams introducing some newer talent. Ludwig Kaiser, Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman, The Miz, followed by Kofi Kingston, Karrion Kross, and then here comes, there's always that kind of lull period in the Rumble where you're like, okay, where's the big name? There's like 5 or 6 contestants come in, or participants come in, and you're like, all right, where's that big one? Where's the big one? Well, the big one will be the number 15, John Cena, who ultimately is apparently going to win the whole thing. But is he? Because the end of this gets very interesting, as you can see. I don't need to hold you up on the video. You can go and look yourself. Braun Breaker then comes in after John Cena, who comes in at number 15. Chad Gable, Sheamus, Logan Paul makes his return. Finn Balor, LA Knight, Shinsuke. Those two are in a program right now. That makes sense to continue for another 5 weeks. Carmelo Hayes, Jey Uso, Santos Escobar, another big name. Here's another big one. Drew McIntyre comes in, followed by Jimmy Uso, Damian Priest, Solo Sikoa, and then the 2 here. Roman Reigns, and then The Rock. How does there a 31? I think there's a 31 because The Rock maybe used his leverage being on the board of directors to add a third or add a 31st contestant. I keep saying contestant, participant to the match. Maybe that's how he does it. Continuing with his heel character would make total sense. But how is he a runner-up? That would tell me, okay, it's going to come down to John Cena and The Rock, which is kind of cool. But that's the only way it makes sense for a 31st contestant to be in here. How does that happen? Again, The Rock might use his power, his political power that he has, because he does actually have a lot of it, a lot of swing in the company. He has a stake in the board of directors. He is on the board of directors. So you're thinking, oh my God, Roman Reigns is number 30, right? And the match is over, no Rock. And then all of a sudden, the buzzer hits and everyone's like, what do you mean that the buzzer hits? How is there a 31st person? And out comes The Rock to try to take down John Cena. John Cena ends up winning, and he will end up facing either Cody Rhodes or whoever the world champion is on Raw. Maybe it's Gunther. So it could be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena, or it could be John Cena versus Gunther, which I think is more plausible given that Rock and Cody are going to be continuing their program that has not yet concluded, because at the very next Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 40, the Monday Night Raw after Mania, The Rock and Cody went face-to-face, and they teased an eventual matchup with these two, holding each other's championships. It was a foreshadowing of what's to come. So I think that's what's going to happen this year. And then where does that leave Roman? I mean, I don't know. So WrestleMania, we're a little bit early to really solidify the card here. I'm sure WWE doesn't even have everything nailed down. But this is the list that has leaked for the 2025 Royal Rumble. Take this for what it's worth. It may be total BS, but it's pretty damn logical for, when you look at it. So Anyway, thanks guys for listening. You can check out my podcast if you want full-length audio. I just did a whole full 2024 review on my podcast called the WWE Podcast. We're available everywhere you can get the podcast, including on Patreon, ad-free. So talk to you guys next time.